compliance and partner with the authority, get taxation right from the jump. My name is Mendi Mwangi. I work within the Taxpayer Services Unit, within the Domestic Taxes Department, within KRA, and today I'm delighted to be joined by our eTIMS Operations Unit, led by Madam Caroline Bagara and Madam Gabriela Tuye. Will be taking us through the contents of today's presentation in order to familiarize ourselves with our newest and most important initiative. And then most importantly, we've dedicated time at the end for an interactive and an engaging Q&A session. Allow me at this point to hand over to Caroline and Gabriela for the presentation. Over to you and karibuni sana.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Mendi, for the invite and the team. This is Caroline Bagara from eTIMS Operations Unit in KRA. We also have my colleague here. She will mention her name.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Gabriela Tuye from eTIMS Operations Unit, KRA.
So today we want to take you through our eTIMS and everything matters eTIMS so that you are able to cover an understanding, a deep understanding on eTIMS. So maybe we can start. So when we talk of eTIMS, I know you'd be wondering generally what is eTIMS, and eTIMS is more of an electronic tax invoicing management system. So if we take you a bit of a history of eTIMS, we started from a general device-based system. And now, due to cost implication, change of technology, we came into looking into what can be best fit with our taxpayers, something that is convenient, something that they can use at their daily and easiest way to use. And that's when we introduced an electronic tax invoicing system. So what would be the bigger difference between that is that one, it's cost-friendly, it's free compared to the gadget. The gadget was something you had to go buy, and you have to have a gadget, just general gadget. So when it comes to eTIMS, it's something it's more of a software that now you install on your computer, on your phone, or especially even just being on a web browser. So we have various types generally. So eTIMS is free, and those are the benefits. Actually, we're trying to make sure that our taxpayers are able to do invoicing in the best way possible without incurring challenges and costs. Again, it simplifies tax return filing, whereby this time around, when you do your filing, everything registers. So the moment you do the moment you run maybe an invoice or you buy or sell, it runs through the system. And at the end of the day, on your iTax, when it comes to filing, it generally auto-populates the data. And then the only thing you need to do now is just to confirm the details, and you're able to file very easily. The other thing is flexible. I think I mentioned eTIMS, we are able to have it in so many ways, depending on the software or depending on the nature of your business. We are able to have it on various platforms, or various personal gadgets that you have, not incurring a cost of buying a gadget. So you can have your laptop, you can have it on your smartphone, you can have it depending on the type of nature of this nature of your business. We are going to take you through on the same, so that you can know which is the best solution for you. So the other thing is business growth. As we can say, eTIMS generally help in bringing in a general playground for everyone. Now, whether Mama Mboga wants to do business with one of the biggest corporates, they're able to give an invoice that is required by the law. So it's giving us, everyone is able to be in business in every dimension. So, and then there's also record keeping. As the law requires, when it comes to business, you are supposed to keep records. So one of the major thing is that eTIMS gives you the platform of now keeping records. You won't see us KRA now knocking the door where the files and all that. Now we are able to see all that. It's so transparent in the system, and we know that this is happening and these are the receipts and so on. So those are some of the advantages of eTIMS. Maybe we can proceed on the other slide. Okay, thank you, Mandy. So in general now, how does it, why electronic tax invoicing? So generally it helps in increasing the revenue, the tax revenue, because at the end of the day, everyone is compliant, and actually brings in the next one, that is enhancing tax compliance, where initially, like what we are talking about in terms of the taxpayer, we realized from the authority that so many people want to actually pay taxes, but they are not able to comply because compliance is now costly. When it comes to buying a gadget, it's 50, 80,000. But now everyone, if you want to sell anything, it's just a matter of pressing a button and you're able to invoice. So the other thing is enhanced transparency and efficiency. Like we said, it's already auto-populated. So we don't need to keep on checking the records. What are you transmitting? What are you not? But generally, it gives you, it gives us an all-round system that we are able to work from taxpayer and from KRA, giving a very good alignment to best practice. Next slide, please. So legal basis for electronic tax invoices, maybe you'd be wondering, is this, do we have legislative framework for this? Yes, we do. So, and the first is the Income Tax Act, Section 16, and the one for Section 54. This is more of the allowable expenses that are supposed to be incurred. So generally, when you do business, the expenses that are incurred in business wholly and exclusively are supposed to be captured through an invoice so that you are able to be allowed. So generally, you are able, this is what eTIMS is giving you, a platform to show, to bring out all these expenses that you are there so that you're being able to be allowed on expenses. And then we also have the Tax Procedures Act, Section 23 and 86. So this is more of the record keeping. So we actually encourage you to maybe go read on that. But like we said, record keeping, as a business person, you're supposed to show your accounts, it's one of them, receipts and all that. So eTIMS is able to give you this platform. And one thing you know also that record keeping, as a business person, you're supposed to keep records at least for 5 years, so that the authority is able to follow up on the same. Section 86 generally talks of the penalties that are accrued to this if you're to comply on the tax system. I think you're able to go check on more, but generally it's usually double the tax for failing to comply with the regulation. Then we have the Tax Procedures Act, tax procedures. Now, this is the ETI regulation, the Electronic Tax Invoices regulations that were published 2024. These generally, we are going to handle them on a later slide. It's more of the exemptions on the same. And then we have the VAT added tax, Section 23. 2013, Section 42. So these talks of tax invoice. So what it entails a tax invoice. So you're able to get all these. So eTIMS covers all these platforms. Next slide, please. So who should adapt eTIMS? Like you see here, Mama Boga, we see Boda Boda, we see our saloonists there, we see the gardener, Nyama Choma. So it's all persons in business, from corporates, from big partnerships, until the one person who is an individual carrying an EPIN and doing business. So for both VAT and non-VAT taxpayers should adopt eTIMS. So maybe after having that brief about eTIMS now, here we come now. Do we have these solutions for everyone, for Mama Mboga, for the corporates? What do we have for them? So we have various solutions. So the first we have are the simplified solutions. That is the eTIMS Lite. And these we generally put for the non-VAT. Non-VAT taxpayers, who are registered taxpayers, are the ones we advise to come through these platforms. And the first one is USSD. USSD comes through a short code *222#. And this is where we were talking of the Mama Mboga who is able to bring some sukuma wiki to a corporate or something like that. So anybody who is not able to access or have no accessibility of internet can be able to use this platform, Kabambe, from any type of phone. Then there's the other one that is ecitizen.kra.go.ke. These are a platform also on the eCitizen, I think in the eCitizen portal. And maybe what I didn't mention, that all these are accessed through the eCitizen. And here you're able, as long as you have an account with eCitizen, you're able to invoice using your portal, your eCitizen portal. And then the third one is the mobile app. That is eTIMS Lite. This is just a normal app, the way you can just download an app. It's already on App Store. So the moment you just download the app, immediately you are able to do your invoicing. The other solutions that we have is eTIMS Client. So the other three solutions are best for VAT taxpayers. I think I mentioned this, the simplified solutions are for non-VAT. These ones are for VAT taxpayers. However, we do not say that non-VAT cannot onboard on this, but as long as you have an VAT obligation, these are the solutions that you should use. So the first one is eTIMS Client. This is suitable for traders dealing with goods, both goods and services. It's a solution that has management module, a stock management module. So you're able to have your stock and be able to replace and all that. So this is installed. It's an app that is installed on your either your laptop or your maybe phone. So it has an Android version and Windows version. So the other one is eTIMS Online. So eTIMS Online majorly is for traders who supply services only. So when you have goods, this is not the best platform for you. So you need now eTIMS Online. This one does not need to be downloaded like the other one for eTIMS Client. This is actually web-based. So the moment you log in the portal, you are able to invoice, and you can invoice from anywhere, as opposed to eTIMS Client, which you are limited to the device that you have selected. Then there's the other one, the third one, that is system-to-system integration. This is the billing, using a billing system. These are when taxpayers have maybe a billing system already in place. We do not advise them maybe now to get into maybe on eClient, because most of them have maybe bulky goods. Most of them have, the nature of business is more advanced, like supermarkets, like maybe even hospitals. So this is where their billing system comes in play. So for this one, we have partnered with integrators who we have approved, and on our website we have been able to display all the integrators that have been are able to integrate in systems with the taxpayers. And now they integrate the system with your system, and you continue invoicing normally. So that's about the billing system that is already in place. Next slide, please, Mandy. Okay. Another thing we have here is buyer-initiated invoicing. When we talk of buyer-initiated invoices, it's a solution that we thought it was best for taxpayers who would be preferring to invoice on behalf of the seller. For instance, a company can decide that they will be on behalf of the seller, they invoice, and the only thing the taxpayer needs to do is to accept the terms. So this is done through eCitizen platform. So they are able to invoice on behalf of the seller. For example, you can imagine maybe like we have like quality meat packers in play right now. So they have small traders who have meat, who maybe are technologically challenged. So what they just need to have is just an acknowledgement from their side. So they invoice on their behalf, and then the taxpayer is able to accept, the supplier is able to accept the sale that they are doing for them. So when you talk of all these solutions, I think there's a slide there that is asking who may use a system that does not require stock. So I think I had mentioned earlier that these are the taxpayers who deal with services only. And when we talk of services, we talk of people like lawyers, somebody who's not dealing with stock. We also talk of the simplified solutions on eTIMS Lite, and also the teams are maybe the taxpayer who is using teams. Like I had mentioned, we had teams in play, and it's still working concurrently with eTIMS. Generally, only that when one is using Teams, is not supposed to be using eTIMS at the same time. So as long as somebody was already on Teams, they do not need to be on eTIMS. So maybe next slide. Although generally, unless they have a challenge, when someone has a Teams challenge, yes, they can come to onboard on eTIMS, but they have to retire the device first. Maybe that needed to be a bit clear. Yes, it doesn't mean you are locked to Teams. Yeah, you are welcome to eTIMS. So I think this is what I had mentioned about the tax exemptions, the exemptions that are in the Tax Procedures Act. So when you come to exemptions, the first, maybe one thing I need to be clear about is that no organization is exempted from eTIMS. The things that are exempted are the transactions. So these are the transactions that are on their exemptions. However, we advise you to always actually to read about these exemptions. They are, you can Google them, you can get them, they are already at play. So the first thing is emolument. This is when you're in business. So if somebody is on payroll, they are subject to payee. So this is already captured on a different platform. So you don't expect that we have this on eTIMS as a transaction. However, if you have employed maybe somebody on contract, or maybe it's an agent, or maybe somebody who is doing one-off, that is a service that they're supposed to, that's a service that is supposed to run through eTIMS. That is very different from payee. So the other thing is the importation of goods and services. So when you have importations of goods and services, this is because also it's captured elsewhere. That is the ICMS, where our goods at the border is already taken care of by the customs office. So we cannot have the same captured on eTIMS. So the other thing is airline passenger ticketing. And when we talk of this, again, we said it's a transaction only on airline passenger ticketing. Everything else about the airline service that is a business has to run through eTIMS, only the airline passenger ticketing. The other thing is investment allowances, including internal accounting adjustments. This is because this has been captured again, maybe in the profit and loss account. It's these are transactions that are capital in nature, so they are not captured on eTIMS. Then there's fees charged by financial institutions. Again, we say the fees, they could be on maybe through a debit or credit card. These are the charges are already captured elsewhere on the taxpayer side, and the PLNL again. So we do not expect this to come through eTIMS. There's also the interest income. This includes even the interest, So generally, it doesn't need to go through eTIMS because it's already catered for just through the SAC or through the banks. It's already catered for. Then we have services provided by a non-resident without permanent establishment. Yes, this again is because it's already captured with our DST. DST is digital service tax. These are the likes of Netflix, the light of Google. It's already captured in our different platform from eTIMS. So how do you onboard on eTIMS? So well, when we come to we mentioned of the VAT registered taxpayers, we talked of eTIMS Lite, eTIMS Client, and also the system-to-system integration. This first, you need to go sign up on eTIMS, on etims.kra.go.ke. You just go on any browser of your choice. So the moment you go sign up, you are able to have a portal or an account on the same. And at that point, you service requests on the solution. Now, if you are services, you click service. If it's if goods and services, you click on e-clients and the like. And then you are expected to upload a document that is the ID. It will be available there to show where you're supposed to download. When it's just a normal business or an individual taxpayer, you just have to upload your personal ID. And when it comes to a corporate, the director's ID comes in play. That's the moment you confirm, and we are able to approve from our side. And from there, you can continue on through your invoicing. So on the simplified solutions, one is the ecitizen.kra.go.ke. The first step is to go to your portal of eCitizen. However, if you don't have an eCitizen account, of course, you have to create one. And then you're able to have a sign up. You're able to see when KRA logo there, and you're able to sign up on the same. When you sign up, you get an OTP, and then the moment you get an OTP, because it has to verify it's you are taken to an interface for KRA, to be able to also initialize eTIMS on the same. And once you do that, you are supposed to click on terms and conditions on the same and be able to initialize eTIMS. And the moment you initialize eTIMS, you are able to go about invoicing. So the other one is USSD. USSD, we said it's more of a register dial of *222#. The first thing you need to go into the tax payment KRA. You'll see a KRA option there, number 5 or number 5, and then you're able to go to the next. It will take you to the next to get into the tax invoice, an eTIMS invoice, where you're able to register with your ID, your year of birth, and you confirm. So the moment you do that, you register. And then from there, henceforth, you'll just be getting into *222#, and you proceed with your invoicing. The third solution now is the app itself. So this is just an app. You go to your Play Store. So where you're able to just download the app, and then from there is as good as invoicing. It's as easy as that. So as we conclude, all this information, we were trying actually to summarize the best way, which it's as easy as what we just said. So everything you need, we already have published everything on our website. So how to install eTIMS, how to go about eTIMS, how to even just step-by-step guide on how to deal with every step in eTIMS, invoicing and the likes. So you're able to have it on our website on www.kra.go.ke, and you'll have all, even the Q&As there to help you and support you. So I think we had mentioned, when it starts with eTIMS, eTIMS is a free solution, and it's accessible from every point, every KRA office countrywide. So eTIMS, you can have eTIMS. If you're in Mombasa, you're able to get support from Mombasa. If you're in whichever region you are. So one thing, it's that it's free. And in case or in instance you have a bribery or a corruption case because of eTIMS, kindly alert us, because it's supposed to be a free and very accessible system. So those are the platforms that you can share your details anonymously. Where is iWhistle? We have a complaints information center, CIC. You can see the emails there, and also you can have those toll-free contacts. And from there, we have reached to the end of our presentation. Those are the contacts that you can try even calling in terms of when you want to be supported, when you want to be helped in matters eTIMS. And also we have a dedicated eTIMS email that is teamsupport@kra.go.ke. In case you have queries and you need to be supported, you can always reach out to us. We are at JQuat Towers, and most of all, eTIMS is everywhere. So wherever you are, you can get to any KRA office and be supported by our team. Thank you very much. I hope everything is well understood, and also we bring in maybe a session where we can have the Q&A and support you, and for make it even more clear. Thank you so much, Mandy.
Asante sana, Caroline. Thank you. Always a pleasure to train with you. And I think now we've given the sense and essence of eTIMS and TIMS. We'd love to invite questions, comments, concerns, compliments, your experiences with TIMS and eTIMS so far, so that we can help guide. Is there any question, comment, concern? You can unmute. I think Waragoro can guide if it's okay, so that we have a engaging and interactive session. Please feel free to just unmute and pose a question directly to the eTIMS team.
Yes, you are free to unmute as well. You can put the question in the chat box. Thank you.
I have a question. So I think you've taken us through very well, and I'm really happy about that. But I have a question that is based on something that I've experienced. When you're dealing with these very young, let me call them the Gen Zs, they provide the services like designing, graphic, and all that. Are they also required to comply, or how would they comply? Because sometimes even for a business that is already in eTIMS and needs to have them provide invoices, is there a way in which they can also be on eTIMS? I didn't see where they can be.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. And our Gen Zs are the order of the day now. They are our business partners now, yes. So yes, Gen Zs are well catered for. The one thing they just need to have is a PIN number, and according to KRA, at the moment you are 18, you're able to have an ID, and you're able to onboard and enroll for a PIN number. So Gen Zs are so okay with the same, because like we said, we can even put it like I mentioned about Manamboga. They can use the *22#. They can also use the eCitizen, and I'm very sure these are the same people who are able to who are traveling here and there. So the Gen Zs ndio wanapata mpaka passport, so they're already on eCitizen. So these are the platforms that they can use, and even the online. So like if it's web designing, there's also the online platform. They don't need to have a VAT obligation. They just need to onboard, because eTIMS is not a tax. eTIMS is just a solution to do invoicing. So the way he or she could have written a receipt from the paper, you know, the way we used to have the papers to the receipts, you know, the receipt books, it's the same thing. There's nothing that is very different from the same. The only thing that they need to do also, the moment, of course, they do business, they have to declare their returns at the end of the year. So they are well catered for on the simplified solution and even on all the platforms.
So they don't have to register that business, or they have to register the business first?
No, they have to register, because you see, for them, okay, if they don't have like a business, they can use their PIN,
Okay.
the individual PIN. Yes,
Mm.
yes, they can use the individual PIN, because at the end of the day, you'll be required to claim these expenses. And the only thing KRA wants, so actually not even KRA, the law wants these invoices to be transmitted, be visible. So for you to claim them as expenses. So they can just use them as their PIN, allow them to use their PIN with their names. That is allowed. The only thing is just a valid invoice that is transmitted electronically.
So them now on the other side, they have to file that at the end of the year.
At the end of the year's income tax.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you too. Another question?
Is there any other question, concern? Maybe we should also just emphasize, I know it came out quite clearly in the presentation, but effective January 1st this year, all expenses required to be supported by eTIMS or TIMS so that they can be claimable for both VAT and income taxes. So as you go about your business, ensure that you're collecting TIMS and eTIMS supported invoices so that you can be able to claim your expenses that went into the incurring the business that went into generating business income for the business. I hope that's clear that all invoices moving forward effective January 1st this year for income taxes, and last year I think it was effective from July 2023 for VAT purposes. That's where I'm just encouraging everyone to come on this new platform so that all invoices can be visible to the authority, and then also provided to the taxpayer so that filing of returns will be simplified based on the information already available to the authority and transmitted. I hope that came out clearly, and I just wanted to re-emphasize that. But we'd like to invite any other questions, comments, or concerns before we close.
This is Waruguru Mendi. Maybe you can clarify when you say all expenses, you know, for small businesses, we have expenses we kind of call petty cash, the 50 bob airtime. How do we cost for that? Do we need what you're saying at an eTIMS compliant invoice for such small expenses, petty cash expenses?
The position, and Caroline can come in to clarify on that, but the position is that yes, all expenses will need to be all expenses that went in towards generating business income rather for that business, and which will be used to, you know, reduce the tax liability of that entity, will need to be supported by eTIMS or TIMS. And that's why there are so many simplified solutions now available for all classes of taxpayers and all classes of transactions. So even those small transactions which you will deduct for expense purposes will need to be supported by eTIMS or TIMS. But if unless those exemptions that were listed there, the exempt transactions which were listed earlier. But Caroline, in case there's something I've missed, you can touch on that as well.
Actually, Mindy, you've just stated as it is. and maybe I can emphasize it's, what we are looking into. Actually, you should look at it as a benefit to your side, because you're supposed to submit the invoices that are shows that you have done an expenditure. So like the moment you are able to transmit them on their system, it reduces your tax obligation. So if you don't transmit them, no, your tax, your tax, if you're supposed to be taxed on that specific, it goes on a higher end. It enlarges the tax, that you're going to be, that is going to be taxed on your income. So the more you show your expenses, the more you are able to deduct that, expenditure from your income. So, and then when it comes to petty cuts, even if it's something, if it's you decided to ask for maybe a piece of soap from maybe the supermarket, you get that receipt, which is you can get it from eTIMS. So the whole idea is to declare. It's like you declaring you did this, you're able to you've been charged this, and you need to reduce this reduce it from your normal income, and it's able to be deducted for you for the tax liability. So just look at it that way, and that's why everyone now on business is able to give you this transaction. Even if it's a kiosk, they are able to give you this receipt. They can just dial *222# and give you an invoice. I hope that is well picked up.
Warogoro, any follow-up on that?
Thank you. I think that has clarified the question. Thank you.
Sorry, there's something I didn't get around the supermarket purchase. You said we can pull from the receipts from the supermarket. Please come again on that. I've understood the kiosk part, but the supermarket part, I'm still lost.
Okay, what I mean, sorry for that. Okay, what I mean is when you go to a supermarket, they issue you with an invoice, which is not an eTIMS invoice, but is a eTIMS invoice. That's all you need to declare as an invoice. And one thing maybe I can advise you is when it's business, it's a business invoice or receipt. When you go to a supermarket, always give them their PIN. You tell them this is for business. I need this, my PIN to be included. So customer care is able to give you that. So if you have maybe some small things you need for the office, when you send that messenger to buy, let them go to customer service, and they're able to be issued with an invoice that has the PIN of the company. So you are able to declare that as an expense.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Karibu.
Thank you for engaging with us. Any other question, comment, or concern? We'd love to clarify any issues, any challenges you've been experiencing, a specific scenario to your business in the SME sector. All right. Perhaps, Warogoro, we can hand it back to you, but let me say a big thank you to Caroline and Gabriela from our eTIMS Operations Unit, who are based at the eTIMS Operations Headquarters at JQuat Towers in the CBD. But again, as mentioned, we have eTIMS champions countrywide across all the 47 KRA offices that we have in countrywide. So thank you so much for your time, Caroline. Thank you, Gabriela. And we hand over back to you. Thank you also to the SME Founders Association for inviting the authority and allowing us to collaborate and support taxpayers on their compliance journey. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much as well. I would want to say thank you to Mandy, Caroline, and Gabriela. Thank you also for participants who've attended. It's been an informative session. I believe after this, we are going to realign, I included, on expenditure recording and verification. I want to now hand over it to Sony for a brief she's going to for a brief kind of presentation on who SFA is, and then after that we'll be ready to close the session. Karibu Soni.
Okay, could you give me some rights to share? Thank you very much. For some reason, I cannot. Oh yeah, now I'm able to share. All right, first is to just say thank you. I think there's a lot more we need to learn around eTIMS, and the team today has done a good job. And so just to get to let those who are not within the association understand who we are. So SME Founders, as we normally call it SFA, is an association by founders for founders. And we've been around for about 9 years, as you can see. The main mission is to help SMEs to grow, scale, and thrive. We do this in 3 ways: by being able to connect SMEs to money, to markets, and to mentors. Those are the 3 main M's that we focus on in trying to help the entrepreneurs grow, scale, and thrive. So what do we have as our products? First of all, for one to be part of the association, they come in and go straight into the founders network. Within this network, there are different advantages that are available for the SMEs. They get to be introduced to a market where they have a platform where they can share about their business and let people know who they are, what they do. They also have opportunities to once in a while participate in some of the forums that we have, where they're also able to showcase their businesses, and they're also able to have access to a pool of mentors, be it HR, be it finance, the different challenges that they do go through as entrepreneurs. So the first thing is to get in into the network as a partner. And once you get into the network, then you now have access to different other products that we have within the association. The first one is the Founders Profit Academy, where we have different programs that are running throughout the year. So you look and see which program would be most suitable for your business, and you're able to enlist. We also have what we call the Catalyst program, which is really a revolving fund for entrepreneurs within the association. They come together and have some sort of revolving fund where once in a while, when it's your turn, you're able to get some money, and you can just use it for the day-to-day running of your business, and also just being part of other entrepreneurs who will encourage you in other ways of getting money to support your business. So that is the Catalyst group. We also have the Business Dialogues group, which is a Toastmasters club. Its main aim is to empower the entrepreneurs through effective communication. So you can join into the Toastmasters club that is called Business Dialogues. You meet other entrepreneurs, you're able to network, socialize, and improve your communication skills. The last bit that we have are programs that we run under YAGWA, which is Youth Young Global Workforce Apprenticeship. So normally we will have some programs that run based on the support that we have gotten. And these programs are to actually enlist and support the youth so that they can start understanding and being able to get into to plug into the ecosystem of entrepreneurship at an early age. So that is what we have to offer. In terms of, sorry, I think I've gone too fast. In terms of something that's happened. In terms of what is in it for you as an SME, if you join us, is I've talked a little bit about brand visibility. I've also mentioned the human resource pool, the fact that you can have product interaction with the community, the fact that you can also advertise within our platforms, that helps in product penetration and aligns your brand. So the quick question would be, how do you join? So I have a form that it's a Google form. We'll just post it in on the group. If you're not a member of SME Founders yet, please fill it in so that we can get your details and then get back to you so that we can discuss which is the product that is best suited for you. So the initial payment, if you come in as an individual, is 5,000. If you come in as an organization with your team, it's about 25,000. And then we also have rates for organizations. Yeah, so I think I will leave it at that and post the form on the chat. So kindly take a few seconds to be able to fill that for us. Thank you. Back to you, Aruguru.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sonny. It's been a pleasure to host this session as representative of the SFX Secretariat. Again, I want to say thank you to the KRA team, that is Caroline, Mandy, and Gabriela. We do appreciate it. Sonny has posted the link to the Virtual Connect card. Please fill it in. You are welcome to join SFA, where we will grow the SME and business together. With that said, thank you. Have a blessed day ahead. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.